Alright, so the next few videos are actually going to be me talking about what characters should not get, what DC characters should get DC animated shorts. I mean, there are a lot of obscure DC characters, right? And this was also brought on by a conversation, one big discussion, me, Sly Cooper 88, Mount Vernon and Ziploc Gory had, just out of randomness. We were talking about Batman Year One and the fact that there was about the Catwoman short. So, yeah, we just talked about all of them, and we just came up with a bunch of characters. And I'm sorry, guys, but the next few videos are going to be me talking about a lot of different characters and how their animated shorts would go. So start off is actually one Sly Cooper 88 really wants the most. In fact, he actually told me that he's trying to write a script in some sense, and that's Ray Palmer, the Atom. Yep, the Atom. The Atom's one of his powers is like he could shrink down and travel through phone lines and, you know, surprise the guy on the other end of the line. However, that power is kind of irrelevant now that no one has corded phones. However, if I could have control, if I could write a DC short about Ray Palmer, what I would do is have it set in the 70s, late 80s, maybe late 70s, early 80s, and have it like Ray Palmer's investigating someone embezzling his research lab. So he's trying to figure out who's behind it, and you know that would kind of make his powers relevant, right? No, I don't know who I'd get to write it, but for voice acting for Ray Palmer, that's a tough one. I don't know. I'm gonna probably think of other voices, of other, you know, good voices here and there, but more or less, yeah, that's how more or less it would be a straight, simple detective story for Ray Palmer, because he did have some detective work to him, even though he was a scientist. So more or less, that's how I'd do it. Following that is Plastic Man. Yes, nobody judge me, but Plastic Man would make a pretty good DC animated short. And I even want I actually like Tom Kenny as the voice of Plastic Man. He really pulls off being that kind of quirky funniness to the character of Plastic Man. And I had no problem with him doing the voice in Batman Brave and the Bold, so yeah, I'd bring back Tom Kenny to do the voice of Plastic Man again. So, in fact, actually, whenever I read Plastic Man the comics, that's whose I hear Tom Kenny's voice. Probably because there aren't a lot of people who do the voice of Plastic Man, but I think he fits pretty well. But anyway, again, this would be another detective story, but also a little more comedic. I mean, for God's sakes, Plastic Man is a comedic character, so it would have to be funny. I think maybe I actually want one of the writers from Brave and the Bold, some of the writers from Brave and the Bold to not like the big name comic book people like Paul Dini and Gail Simone. I'm thinking maybe someone who was on the show doing the occasional episodes, like the ones that Plastic Man was in, because the person who was writing that, good on you, that was good. But yeah, Plastic Man, you know, just a funny, quirky 12-minute short would be fine. I don't think Plastic Man could carry his own movie, but he could definitely carry like a short, like an animated short movie. I think that could work. Alright, yes, Vixen. Now, this is actually one Mount Vernon kid picked. And, yeah, first off, yeah, Gina Torres, I'd want her to come back and do the voice of Vixen. This story, I actually have a good story in mind for this one. It's more or less Vixen in Africa hunting down a group of poachers. Yeah, another simplistic one, but hey, simplistic works sometimes. I heard somewhere that Dwayne McDuffie wanted to write a Vixen short, so I guess he won't be able to do that now. God rest in peace, Mr. McDuffie. But yeah, I would have really liked to see where Dwayne McDuffie would have taken an animated short about Mari. So that'd have been fun. But yeah, definitely my voice cast would definitely be Gina Torres. She did the voice of Vixen in the Justice League Unlimited show. And Vixen's a badass character. She's one of those badass females. I mean, the power of the entire animal kingdom at her disposal is just awesome. So, yeah, definitely her. So, moving on next is Dr. Fate. Yeah, Dr. Fate should get one. Now, I'd actually choose Kent Nelson, the first Dr. Fate. In fact, I'd also get his voice actor from Justice League Unlimited, whose name I'm forgetting. But I know he does the voice of Ra's al Ghul in Young Justice, and he played one of the characters in The Mummy. So you guys probably know what actor I'm talking about for those who have seen the first two Mummy movies. But yeah, he was actually pretty good. He pulled off being very cool and sophisticated, like the character of Dr. Fate. This would actually, I would have Felix Faust in here in this villain. I'd actually have an actual villain. It would just be a good story of Felix Faust trying to stop, Dr. Fate trying to stop Felix Faust from, unleashing like a demonic horde or something. I'd actually want Guillermo del Toro to write this one. This would actually be right up his alley of something magical. Or better yet, I'd actually get J. Michael Straczynski. He's always in he's very big in the magic stuff. And, the mysticism. He's a big fan of the mysticism stuff, so better yet, how about you get JMS to write a Dr. Fate script for a DC animated short? I think that'd be good. Alright, now this one, people might go, why this one? Yeah, Thomas Blake Catman could probably carry his own DC short. Yeah, I think he could. Actually, I think you could probably do like him training in Africa, retraining himself in Africa, and have it basically look back at his life from his abusive father to his time being a failed Batman villain to him joining the Secret Six. That would actually make a good plot. Or even basically him looking back at his life. That's how more or less like an origin story told back in a flashback. That actually would kind of work. I don't know a voice actor for Catman, but I don't know. Maybe. That's a tough one. I had an idea in mind, but maybe Steve Blum. Steve Blum he's a great voice actor, so he could pull off his Spike Siegel voice for Catman. I think that could work. Yeah, the more I think about it, yeah, him doing his Spike Siegel voice could actually work. So yeah, okay, so I got a voice pick there. But anyway, moving on. All right, so following next is a Sgt Rock animated short. Yeah, I would love to see Sgt Rock in the Combat Happy Joes, or Easy Company as they're also known as, get a movie. More or less, this would be a gritty World War II movie, animated movie, more or less, for about 11 minutes. Voice actor for Sgt Rock, Michael Ironside. I think he could pull off being that grim and dark character, or even Kevin Conroy. I'd like to see him do people outside of Batman. I think Kevin Conroy could do this too. Now, yeah, more or less that would be good. Like I said, a good, dark, and gritty World War II, hard-hitting animated movie. Because I don't think we've ever seen a World War II animated movie. At least, not to my knowledge. I could be wrong. But, yeah, Sgt Rock is another deserving character. He's kind of obscure in some ways. I mean, he's going to be in part of the relaunch, DC relaunch, so it might be interesting, but all in all, set it in World War II, give it a good scriptwriter. Maybe, that's a tough one, because who's good at war? But maybe Jimmy Palmiotti, now that I think about it, yeah, Jimmy Palmiotti would be good as scriptwriter. He's good at the gritty realistic stuff. So maybe him, or Greg Pak. Not Greg Pak, I mean Greg Rucka, excuse me. So there's my picks. So following that is Deadman. Yeah, you guys knew I was going to talk about Deadman. There's another good character. More or less, this guy's perfect for a DC animated short. I mean, the DC showcases are more or less that. Now, Deadman I could see, basically it's a guy, he's trying to figure out who killed him. That would be a good premise for his DC animated short. I'd probably have maybe John DiMaggio doing his voice. I think he could do it. Maybe Jeff Johns. Yeah, Jeff Johns would actually be pretty cool. Him writing Deadman, or Peter Tomasi. I'd like to see him write the script, because they had a good handle on Deadman, and thanks to Brightest Day, Deadman's, getting some hype. He's getting some love, and he's going to be part of the DC relaunch, and that DC Presents and the Justice League Dark. So yeah, maybe an animated movie would be a nice little tidbit too. And finally, on at least this part, is Martian Manhunter. Now you're probably wondering, why Martian Manhunter? We know who Martian Manhunter is. We've seen him. Well, here's the thing. I'd like to have this as a detective story, because John Jones is actually an excellent detective. He's not just a great science fiction superhero, he's a great detective character. And how I'd actually play this out is actually kind of like him going around as John Jones, trying to figure out a serial killer. Like, he's trying to track him down as his human persona throughout the majority of the movie, and more or less give tidbits to his superpowers. Then towards the end of it, he becomes Martian Manhunter when he finds the guy, and he takes him down as the Martian Manhunter. Yeah, more or less that kind of simplistic side to it. I'd like to have the original voice actor who did his voice in the Justice League animated series. He'd be cool, or even Keith David would actually be pretty cool. I think he could pull off being John Jones's voice, or maybe as a cool thing, maybe have the actor who played him in Smallville. I didn't have a problem with the actor who played him in Smallville. He actually pulled off being pretty good at playing a pretty good John Jones. So I'd say him. Let him come back and do the voice of the character he played in live action. I think that'd be pretty fun. So more or less, this is going to be the first part of my picks. I still got a lot more to do, and I just felt like I just wanted to kill time today and just show off a lot, because I had so many picks for DC animated shorts for a lot of these DC obscure characters. So that's going to be the next few videos. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the picks. But what do you think of these so far?